Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Angelina and I am back, y'all, after 2 years. Okay, so it's been a pretty long time, but I'm here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful. I'm very excited to be here today because I miss filming, I miss YouTube, I missed it all. So I'm back today. And I promise you guys, I do make videos. I just don't end up editing them. And that's so bad. I probably have videos from like months and months ago that I haven't even touched or edited. But I'm very, very excited to be here today. I hope that you enjoy our conversation today. It's been a pretty long time. And so I do just want to, update you, pretend we're like at lunch or we're just in my room or something and we're just talking. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. Definitely let me know if you guys like these vibes. I made a girls' night video two years ago. And so it's been a pretty long time, but I do like these videos. I do love making them. And so let me know what you think. I wanted to just answer some questions, give you guys a little life update about who I am, where I am now. A lot has changed since 2021. So we're going to get right into this video because I don't want it to be too long, but I do hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, let's do this. So on my Instagram, I asked a couple of questions. These are anonymous questions, and so I have no idea who asked me them. So we're gonna start off strong and start with the first question, which is, what are the qualities you look for in men? That's a very good question. That's very interesting. Oh, life update. I'm single now, y'all. So if you watched my previous videos, I have been dating for a very long time, but I am now single, so I'm gonna answer this question here. So what are the qualities you look for in men? So I am currently 21 and I'm currently in school. I'm studying business. I am also studying, more specifically, entrepreneurial management and marketing. And so with that being said, one of the qualities I look for in men is someone who is extremely driven or ambitious and disciplined. So that was a lot. So someone who is driven, ambitious, and independent. So someone who has goals for themselves and want to do better, and they actually take steps to get there. So not just anyone who has goals. I feel like a lot of us have goals, right? But then people who actually take active, proactive steps to reach those goals is very, very attractive, and it is very, very important. Those three are the biggest qualities I look for in men. Also someone who is gentle and someone who is a man of God, a God-fearing man. I am a Christian and I do believe in God, and I have a very special relationship and strong relationship with God. And so I do want my next man to also hold that value. Another quality I look for in a man is someone who is Hmong. Someone who is Hmong and dived into my culture. So I am a Hmong woman. I consider myself pretty traditional. Actually, I consider myself pretty traditional because I feel like a lot of people my age don't really speak Hmong or know about the culture. And I feel like I was born into a family that does a lot of that. And so that is one of the qualities I look for in a man, is someone who is a little bit traditional, who knows the Hmong culture, who knows Hmong, and who can communicate with my family. Okay, so those are pretty much the qualities I look for in men. So, yeah. All right, next question. If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? So if I could travel anywhere, honestly, I love tropical warm weather. I think it's so relaxing. And so with that being said, I would want to go to maybe Hawaii, and Bora Bora, Bali. So those tropical areas. Another area I want to go to is definitely London or Paris or somewhere in Europe, because I kind of see myself in that kind of area. I feel like this is very business rich and culture rich, that I feel like I'd really learn a lot being in those areas. And so if I could travel anywhere, definitely Hawaii, and London. I think those are my two main spots that I really, really want to travel to. And within 5 years, I hope I do go there. Fun fact, I was supposed to go to London this past summer, so 2022 summer. I was supposed to go for study abroad at my school. And so our university do require students to travel abroad, and I chose London. But unfortunately, I did get sick and never made it there. I had my flights ready, I had my apartment ready, I had everything ready, everything lined up, and then I got sick. And so I couldn't end up going, which is still very sad. And I really do hope that I get to go this year, but it's all in the air because I'm still sick, unfortunately. And we will talk about that more and maybe down the road. Okay, third question. If you could change one thing about Minnesota, what would it be? So I am in Minnesota. I live here. I've been born here. I lived here all my life. And low-key, I would always stay in Minnesota. I want to raise my family here. I want to live here forever. I don't know if it's because I have like attachment issues or because my family is here. And I do consider myself to be very family oriented. And so Minnesota is always going to be my home. But if I could change one thing about Minnesota, I say the winters, bro. The winters, y'all, it is March. Okay, let me give you the specific date. It is March 11th, and it is snowing outside as we're speaking. It is snowing outside. And that is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. We are in March. It's Easter next month. And I'm not going to be surprised if there's snow while we're outside trying to find eggs. Like, I'm not going to be surprised. So definitely Minnesota winters, not it. I do enjoy it though, but I would change it. If you're from Minnesota, comment down below what you would change about Minnesota. I really want to know. I really want to know. Okay, next question. What are your late night thoughts? And so this is a very interesting one, actually. So I honestly, recently I've been staying up pretty late, and low-key, I'm not gonna lie, it's because of my phone, and it is a habit that I do want to, let go of. So I literally just stay up on my phone, on social media, trying to find content ideas, or just making content, like making vlogs, and that's pretty bad. So, but to answer the question, my late night thoughts are definitely about what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I accomplished today, like just life. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say it right out. Like this past summer, or this past year, 2022 was a very, very hard year for me, and I think a lot. I reflect a lot. And I think a lot about the present moment now. And so if you asked me this question a couple months ago or like a year ago today, I would have been like, what keeps me up is my problems, my past, what I could have changed, or my future. Fortunately, and I'm very blessed to say, I'm very grateful to say that that's not what keeps me up anymore. Like, I don't really think about those things anymore because now I feel like I'm just living more in the present. I do think a lot about my future. I love my future. I care for it. But I'm really just putting all of that in God's hands. My faith grew a lot this past year. And so now when I worry about the future, I literally bring myself back to my grounds and be like, I'm gonna just give it to God. I'm gonna just give it to him. Whatever happens, happens. And that's it. That's it. So late night thoughts are definitely, what I accomplished today, what I'm going to do tomorrow. But that lasts for like 10 minutes max, and then I'm out, and then I'm knocked out. Like I don't really have late night thoughts. I just stay up because of my phone, which is very toxic. So I do not recommend, and it's a habit I'm going to try to let go of. So yeah. Okay, next question. How many hours in a day do you give yourself to self-reflect? So I'm not gonna lie, these are very good questions. So every morning, at least I try, every morning I pray. And every night I also pray before bed. And these prayers are truly reflection times. It's a time for me to truly just talk to God, talk to Jesus, and to just reflect on my day, what went well, what didn't go well, having good sleep, being grateful for being able to wake up in the morning and to be blessed to be given another day to just live. and to hear God and to live out my calling and to live out my purpose. And it's obviously not every day. That's preferred. That's what I want. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. So obviously there are times where I don't pray, or there are times where I don't reflect at all. But how many hours? At least one. I'm not gonna lie, at least 1 hour. Like if throughout my whole day, I sometimes reflect in the car, or I reflect honestly anywhere. So at least an hour a day I self-reflect. And I feel like that's pretty good. So self-awareness, self-reflection, very important. And I recommend you do the same. All right, the next question is, what is my dream job? All right, y'all. So like I mentioned before, I am I am majoring in marketing and in entrepreneurial management. And so with that being said, I do want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a CEO of a company, and I don't want to be a small business owner. I want to be grand. I want to create a franchise. I want to grow a company from bottom to its heights. And so there's a lot going on there. So currently though, I am into marketing, and so I am a marketing intern for a company right now. And my current career goal is to go into corporate as a marketing manager and then gain experience for a couple of years, and then eventually branch out and start my own business venture, and then grow that from the bottom to the top, franchise it, leave a family legacy, like there's so many things in the air right now, but that is my dream job. My dream title is to be an entrepreneur and CEO of a franchise, okay? And so, dream job, dream title. So, this wasn't a question, but somebody said, you deserve a man who loves Jesus. If you're watching this and you said this to me, it was going to make me cry. I promise you. When I read this, it was going to make me cry. Again, these messages are anonymous. These questions and these statements are anonymous, so I have no idea who sent me this. But if you're watching this and you said this to me, that you deserve a man who loves Jesus, like I agree. I agree. I agree 100%. And that is the exact man that I'm looking for. Someone who fears Jesus, someone who loves Jesus, someone who loves the Lord. And yeah, so thank you. So next question is, how did you settle down with your major, and who and what inspires you? So this is also a very good question. You guys send very good questions. I'm not gonna lie. I did a Q&A before in my prior videos, and it was just good questions. So thank you for this question. So how did you settle down with your major? So initially, I talked about this in a previous video. I did want to be a lawyer. So I wanted to be a defense lawyer, and eventually that's changed. Like I said in my previous video, like my calling just changed. I just got very interested in starting my own business and becoming an entrepreneur, a CEO. And so how did I settle this? Definitely talking to people around me, talking to my family, talking to people in the field, and gaining their interest, gaining their perspective, really helped me settle down with my major. The second part to this question is, who and what inspires you? So definitely who inspires me is my family. And my grandma specifically, she inspires me so much. She is a business owner. She is a businesswoman. And my mom, actually, my late mom, also inspires me as well. And so she was majoring in business, and I'm not gonna say I went to business because of them, but definitely they inspired me to pursue in this industry and to just have drive. My best personality trait, in my opinion, is my drive, and my drive to, pursue all my ambitions and my aspirations. And so they inspired me a lot to just go for it and to do whatever I put my mind to. What inspires me though is that feeling of peace and happiness. So in my previous video, I talked about my future. And my future is always going to inspire me. Like what I want to do in the future is always going to inspire me. But always, bottom line, to this day, currently, present moment, what inspires me is that feeling of peace. the peace of knowing that I'm doing everything that I can, that I am pursuing all my passions, that I'm doing what I want to do, that I'm happy, that I'm surrounded by people who love me and who are good to me. And you know that feeling? Okay, to my fellow procrastinators, you know that feeling like every time you procrastinate on something and the deadline is getting closer and closer, like you just have this something, like, is that a word, something? Yeah, this like deep, dark feeling in your heart, in your head, where it's like, I know I have to do something. Like, I know I have to do something. I have to get this done. I gotta do this. And then, or when you have a test the next day and you're out the night before and you spend the whole time at the party literally just thinking about the test or your assignment that you have due that night. Like, you know that feeling? Bro, I hope I didn't give you PTSD because I just got some right there. That feeling where it's just like weighing you down. Like, you know you have to get something done. I hate that feeling, and I never want to experience that. Or that feeling that I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I do feel that a lot periodically, that I'm not doing enough. But when you know you could be doing more, oh my god, I'm like stuttering. I gotta chill out. Okay. And I know I am doing, well for myself and for my dreams. But when I don't like that feeling of, I know I could be doing better, but I'm not. Or that feeling of unproductivity, like peace, like true peace, contentment, like just being happy with where you are. That is what inspires me to do everything that I can and to do everything that I do. So that was a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot. Anyway, next question. This is a good one. Okay, so have you grieved before, and what have you learned from grievance? So I have grieved before. I'm not gonna lie, I've been through a lot of things in my life, and there's been times where I usually just push that feeling away. Like growing up, I really pushed that feeling away. I never really sat down with my feelings and understood myself because I went through something very traumatic at a young age, and I would say that is my biggest grievance. But I have grieved before. That answers part one of the question. And the next one is, what have you learned from grievance? And what I've learned is to give it to God. Give it to Jesus. I've learned to just give all of my worries and all my sadness to a higher power, which is Jesus in my case. And because there's so many things that I've encountered that one person can truly not just hold on to it all. Like, no one can hold, not even you can't hold on to all of your miseries and all of your downfalls and all of your grievances. Like, we are not made for that. And so giving it to someone, giving it to a higher power, giving it to God, giving it to Jesus is the way to go, because you just feel a weight lifting off your shoulder. And so that's what I've learned, to give it to God. Another question is, what are some things about the Hmong community that you are proud of? Again, I am Hmong, and the things in my community that I'm proud of is definitely the people who have made history. I'm talking about Sunisa Lee, Chinu, her, Jia Vang, and so those are the top three that kind of pops into my head. There's definitely more though. And there's so many like powerful women and men out there that are making history for our Hmong community. But to talk about my community, my culture specifically, I am very proud of our community, our connection with each other. I feel like everyone knows each other, and that could be a good and a bad thing, but I think that's something that I'm proud of because it just shows how interconnected we are with each other. And I think that's something to be proud of. Not to mention, we're really rich in our culture. We don't have our own, country, but we take pride in that. I love our food. I love our clothing. I love our language. I love everything about my culture. And I'm very proud of us and how far we've come. Ooh, oh my gosh, these are very good questions, y'all. Okay, so next question is, where do you stand on women speaking about their vulnerability, and how do you think it affects the people around them? Whew, this is a very good one. So part one of this question is, where do you stand on women speaking about their vulnerability? I think it is very powerful. not just women. When anyone is being vulnerable and speaks about their, hardships and their obstacles that they've overcome and their stories and their testimonies, I think that's very powerful. And some people see that as a sign of weakness or a sign of weakness. But personally and realistically, facts-wise, vulnerability makes you so powerful because it's an indication that you don't care, or at least that you're not thriving off external validation. Because people who are, not vulnerable, they think a lot about what other people are thinking about them. So, for example, someone might not cry or speak about their hardships because they don't want to be judged. But when you speak about those things, it's because you know you're where you are because of those hardships and those experiences. And I think that is very powerful. So speaking about hardships, being vulnerable around people is very powerful. It's a sign of power. It's a sign of internal validation. And I thrive off internal validation or validation from Christ. And so where do I stand? I think you are powerful if you do that. Part 2 of this question is, how do you think it affects the people around them? So speaking about vulnerability around certain people could definitely trigger things for those people. It could be a trigger, it could be a stressor, it could make it awkward. And so you have to know who you're being vulnerable around, especially if it's people who you can't trust or people who are not trustworthy, who may, stab your back. That's very that's weird to say, but just know who you're with, know who you're being vulnerable with, and know who you can trust. And so vulnerability affects people in different ways. It really depends on the person. The right person will make you vulnerable. The right person will bring out that out of you, and not just that, but sometimes you just become vulnerable. So I don't know if that answers the question, but good question though. Next question is, what steps can I take to heal from family trauma? I want to say I'm very blessed to have grown up the way I did, and I don't want to say I have family trauma, but I do have, trauma in the family. But personally, what steps you can take to heal from family trauma is finding your voice and finding internal validation within yourself. What I mean by that is family trauma can, decrease someone's self-esteem. It can make them lose confidence. It can make them lose their voice. It can make them seek external validation. In my opinion, this is all in my opinion, I feel like when you have family trauma, you seek external validation. Like, you feel good and you thrive off of what people think about you. And I'm not gonna lie, that is very unhealthy. That is very unhealthy because the only person you should be seeking validation from and acceptance from is yourself and God. You want to be able to just thrive off from yourself. And so, because I feel like that is, one of the biggest effects from family trauma, the first step you can do is trying to find your voice, trying to build your confidence, and just trying to find internal validation within yourself. And that's not easy to do, but I believe that whatever you put your mind to, and if you are truly invested into it, it will happen. It will happen. Next question is, what are 3 things you tell yourself when you want to start off your day on a good note? And this is a very good question because I love to do this. Like I mentioned before, I try to pray every morning. And the 3 things I tell myself is that whatever happens throughout the day, it is meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happens throughout my day, it is meant to happen. And if I encounter obstacles or hardships, it's meant to happen. If I encounter problems, it's meant to happen. This has helped me become more patient. This has helped me become more graceful and move with grace and move with empathy. And so when I do face challenges, it's not that I'm like completely controlled. Like, nobody can really control their emotions, right? But then I do go back to the idea that, everything happens for a reason. God's plan. If there's a challenge, it came for a reason. If there are blessings, opportunities, it came for a reason, and it came at the time it should have. The next thing I tell myself is that God is with me. I'm never alone. God is with me. I hear him, I'm with him, whatever I do, I want to do through him, and I want to hear him, and so those things help me start my day off on a very good note. The last thing I tell myself, to be grateful for whatever happens throughout the day, and just to be grateful to be alive. Y'all, it's such a blessing to just be alive, to wake up in the morning, to wake up in a new day. It's just simply a blessing, and I think we overlook that a lot. But waking up in the morning, living life itself, life itself is a blessing. So, yeah. Next question. What is your ideal boyfriend? So I kind of answered this in the first question of the qualities I look for in men. But then, what is my ideal boyfriend? This is getting deep, y'all. This is getting deep. Okay, but my ideal boyfriend, I would say, like, to be honest, right? And I did mention this already. Someone who is a God-fearing man. Someone who is gentle, family-oriented, that could, really connect with my family and communicate with my family. And the communication part is why they have to know Hmong and be invested in the Hmong culture. And so that is kind of very important to me. I feel like when you're a God-fearing man, the qualities that I want just comes naturally. I'm not going to list out all of the standards that I want in a boyfriend, but a God-fearing man for sure, and someone who is invested in the culture. So that's my ideal boyfriend. If we're going to talk about appearance, someone who is also athletic. I'm not going to lie. I don't consider myself athletic. But I think that's a very good quality in a man, and someone who is tall. Okay, I'm getting kind of like cliche, so I'm gonna skip it. But God-fearing man, ambitious, driven, independent, and family-oriented. So those three for sure. For sure. This video is low-key getting a little bit long, so we're gonna stop here. Maybe a part 2 because there are a lot of questions, but I just want to thank you again for coming back to my channel and watching this video. I'm so grateful to be here, y'all. If you haven't listened to my podcast, I did release new episodes, so make sure to give that a listen. Link will be in my description below. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram, on LinkedIn. No, I was kidding. On Instagram, and that's kind of where I post mostly. But there has been a lot of changes these past 2 years, and I'm excited to explain and share them with you all throughout this year and forever. And I'm just excited to share my experiences. Again, my purpose will always be to give you a voice and to, make you, make you feel like you have someone, and to help you find your purpose and your calling. And so that's going to be my ultimate purpose. That's my calling. But again, I want to thank you for everything. I hope the audio is good. I hope the video is good. It's been a long time. And the last thing I want to say is thank you to God for sponsoring this video. So thank you guys. Have an amazing day. And I hope to hear from you. Make sure to leave comments, message me, let me know how I can improve my videos. Always, always. And I'll see you next time. Bye.